All right, today I'm going to run you through a real simple pasta sauce. I first saw this from the Pasta Queen. If you don't know who she is, she's this very eccentric, very Italian woman. I think she lives in the States now, but she's hilarious. But she did it very simply with ricotta and lemon, like real simple sauce, and I really liked it. Then I saw my mate Christian Petracca do the same recipe, not the same, similar recipe, but with sausage, and I thought, oh, that's a bit more up my alley. So that's what we're going to make today, and then we'll get Caitlin in to come and taste it and see what she thinks. So I've got a big pot of water on here, and I've got another saucier pot to make the sauce. If it decides to turn on, are you going to turn on? Haven't cooked in here in a while, so yeah, that was me. Silly duffer. Yeah, I haven't cooked in here a while because I've been away. Me and Ben, on the video guy over there, we're in New Zealand all week. We filmed a couple of really cool videos, one with the All Blacks, will be on the Man channel in a few weeks, and one with a friend of mine, Ben Bailey, at his restaurant Ahi, another one of those in-service videos. So be sure to check those out. The All Blacks one was really cool, and the All Blacks got a win, which was good to see, wasn't it, Ben? Ben's now a Kiwi. He's actually an Australian, but now he has an All Blacks jersey that officially makes him a Kiwi. So I put a decent amount, not a decent amount, maybe a tablespoon and a half of olive oil in there. And I probably don't actually need all these sausages, but I'm going to pull the casings off these sausages like that. And then just kind of break them up into the oil once it's got a bit of heat in it. And we'll let that kind of saute down. Get a bit of garlic in there. I should actually get the pasta going, shouldn't I, too? That'd be smart. I think I'm going to name this recipe a pasta sauce faster than it takes to cook the pasta. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. It makes sense in my head anyway. I reckon this is enough for 4 people, so I'm actually just going to use 4 sausages. These are just like an Italian sausage. Can smell some fennel in there. Wash my hands, get the pasta going. So just salty water. I'm going to use some rigatoni. I think it works well with sauces like this. And that goes. We'll give that a stir so it doesn't stick. I feel like I've got 2 left hands today for some reason. That's not the right spoon, Ben. Lucky we can cut some of the stuff out, eh? So yeah, no olive oil in here. Just make sure you stir your pasta. We're going to cook it for about 10 minutes. I'll get a lid back on it so it comes back up to boil faster. Oh, he got me. That's just water in my pan. Okay, break up our sausage into the oil. Let that fry off. And the trick is with this is once you break it up and put it in the pot, is just kind of leave it there for a bit to get a bit of browning happening. And then it shouldn't completely break down. What you don't want is, like, you know when you're cooking like you're browning off beef mince and you kind of want it to kind of fall apart. I think with this you kind of don't want it to fall apart, and you want, like, I guess, miniature meatballs going on. All right, so that's it all in there. Just gonna let that sit for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll start stirring. I mean, you could technically make this in a 1-pan thing. If you boiled your pasta, saved a bit of pasta water, let it drain off, And then while that's in the colander, you started making a sauce. It'd heat back up again once you poured it into the sauce. So we were talking about earlier, like the fact that like a lot of people have very small kitchens. Yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting. Like a lot of people live in small apartments, right? And they don't want to use. Like I understand that you don't want to use as many. You want to use as fewer pans as possible. I think especially if you're cooking it for like just 1 or 2 people, I would definitely do this all in one pan. First thing, get your pasta cooking, drain it and leave it in the sink in the colander, and then start your sauce back in the same pan that you cooked your pasta. Jobs are good, mate. I'm going to swap these around because I want the big element. So that's been going for a while now. You can see it's starting to cook up the meat, which is exactly what we're looking for. We don't want it completely cooked through, but we should have some color on the underside of this now, which we do. And we have nice little pieces of meat. We don't have, you know, we're not like breaking down ground beef or ground pork to make like a bolognese sauce. The other thing that happens when you leave it like that is that it won't stick. It won't all stick and you're scraping it off the bottom. This is a stainless steel pan and we've got no stickage. And the reason we've got no stickage is because we let the pan come up to temperature, we let the oil come up to temperature, and we didn't move the sausage meat once we put it inside. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic to this as well. So I'm just gonna crush the garlic cloves and then I'll run my knife through them. And Italian food doesn't actually like use heaps of garlic. I mean, I think the addition of like a lot of garlic to Italian foods probably come through like the American Italian food. I'm a garlic lover, so I'm here for it, but that's 4 cloves. That feels fairly aggressive on the garlic, but it's fine by me. If you're not a super garlic lover, you could just put 1 in this. In that goes. We just want to get a bit of heat into that before we start adding our sauce. Toss that around. Be careful for it. You really don't want it to catch at this point. The garlic will turn really bitter if it overcooks. The lemon zest we'll add right in at the end, but we're going to add the lemon juice soon as well. And then ricotta. This is just kind of your standard ricotta, not the smooth stuff. Really high in protein, delicious. So what I'm going to do is turn that heat down a little bit. Then I'm going to add some of this pasta water. That's about 3/4 of a cup. That'll get all the fond off the bottom of that pan, and it will also start building the base of our sauce, because if you just put ricotta in here, it'll be very, very thick. Okay, so now the ricotta can go in, and break it up as you put it in, and then we'll start stirring it through. So just work that ricotta in. It might not be perfectly smooth, but that's okay. Might split a little bit. You can always add a bit more water too. I am going to add a little bit more water at this point. Smells good in here. Okay, it's going to work that ricotta through. If you did, you could use the smooth stuff, to be perfectly honest, and you shouldn't get this kind of split look, but Honestly, it doesn't bother me. If you work that long enough, it will become smooth. It just depends on how much you want to kind of stand over the stove. The other thing you could do is if you weren't putting the sausage in it, which is perfectly valid, you could leave just have it with a side salad, or if you wanted like some zucchini in it. But you could do that and then kind of put a stick blender in it and it would 100% go all lovely and smooth. But okay, time for the lemon. So we're going to start with the zest. I find it easier to zest lemons when they're whole as opposed to cut. So I'm going to zest it onto my essential bench scraper, and then I'm just going to turn that right down. I don't want that to be too crazy. And we'll leave that there. I reckon you need to put zest into recipes really last minute, just to keep that vibrancy. If you kind of cook zest out, it'll it just loses that, like, you know, that real intense vibrancy. So these are kind of smallish lemons, medium size, I guess. I'm going to use 2 in this recipe, but you could kind of go up on that. You could use 2 large ones if you wanted to. You just use 1, but I think given that it's kind of a main part of one of the main ingredients, I want it to taste lemony. I also want to impress my girlfriend, and she likes things that are very lemony. So, all right, we're going to cut those in half. Add our lemon. The other thing that I don't mind when you get seeds and stuff, but Kaylin hates it. So we'll squeeze it into our fingers, which I've just got open a little bit, and that catches any seeds. Could use one of those lemon squeezes as well. That would stop the seeds going in. Oh, that was a juicy one. Stir that lemon juice through. So I haven't added any salt to this at all yet, apart from to the pasta water. So we'll have a taste, see what it tastes like. Duh. Lots of lemon juice. I think I could use a little bit of salt, but I might wait till the end. Sometimes I over season things, if I'm perfectly honest. A little bit of salt, and that's a good consistency for when we add our pasta. If it's too thick, it won't spread evenly across the pasta, and if it's too thin, you won't coat the pasta. Let's see where that pasta's at actually. You also want to pull your pasta out before it's finished cooking. So 2 ways you can see when pasta's cooked. You can just eat it, which is the easier way. Or if you cut it in half and drop it on the floor, you'll see, if you can get in close there, Ben, you'll see there's still a white line on the outside, sorry, on the middle. That means it's still not fully cooked. But it's pretty close, and it's, lost my colander. No, I haven't, it's in the open your eye section. It's pretty close, and it will continue to cook. So I'm gonna drain that now. Just into a colander. As a caution, I will keep a little bit more pasta water, just in case I need it. Now, pasta goes in the sauce. That feels like it's a bit of it's doing some heavy work there, that pot. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to toss that very well, but we'll give it a go. It'll make for some comedic relief anyway if I completely stuff it. And I got some fresh parsley, flat leaf parsley here, that I'm gonna cut and get ready as well. when I'm cutting herbs at home. In the restaurants, you always pick them. At home, I will pick them, but not quite as aggressively, I guess. Sometimes if you've got like a really good bunch, you can kind of get away with even just picking it. You kind of just run your knife through it and it's fine. But because you've got some of these really big bits like this, you need to pick it down a little bit. All right. So when I'm cutting herbs, I'll turn that heat off completely. I like to roll it up like you're rolling a cigar. Don't think I've ever rolled a cigar in my life, but it's a very weird analogy to use, isn't it? And then run your knife through it. And herbs like this, my general rule of thumb is, especially with like rustic home cooking like this, is you don't want to run your blade through a delicate green leaf like this more than once. I think when you start like really chopping and chopping and chopping, it just starts to kind of make the parsley taste a bit like grass clippings. Sometimes I might go back the other way like 3 times, and that's just to make sure you don't end up with heaps of like big strands. But we can toss our sauce in here now, and it just feels very ambitious to be doing in this pot. So ambitious, I'm going to change. Ooh. That's much better. I'm going to add our lemon zest and parsley and give it a toss. You could add a little bit more parmesan onto this if you wanted to, if you wanted a bit more kind of, you know, cheese forward. But let's have a taste. See where we're at. It's pretty good. Let's plate it up. Made a bit of a mess. A little bit more parsley. Some more olive oil. There you go. Let's get the boss in to see what she thinks. Caitlin!
You don't have to shout.
So,
what are
made
you having?
a little lemon ricotta pasta with some Italian sausage. Inspiration from 2 people,
Oh, okay.
Pasta Queen
Oh, yeah.
and Trax.
Okay. Wow, this should be really good then.
Should it?
Should it?
I want your honest opinion.
Am I trying to get
Yeah, bit of sausage.
everything in one
Bit
bite?
of sausage, bit of pasta.
Oh, it's too much pasta. I'm not going to fit that in my mouth.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah, I like that.
Thought you might.
Lemon.
The lemon.
It's so good.
What did I tell you?
You know, the way to my heart is just lots of lemon.
Any feedback?
No. No.
Oh, first for everything.
No, I think it's great.
Here comes the old man. You want to say hi now?
Yeah, that's really good. That was really quick as well.
Yeah, quick. And it's so easy, I reckon even you could do it.
Oh, I don't know about going about that part.
Bit of a challenge.
Or a challenge. Probably overcook my pasta.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
yum.
Thanks, legends. We'll see you next week for another recipe. Peace. Bring the pasta, babe.
Oh, okay. Whoa, whoa.
Other way.
You want me to walk the other way? I'll go the other way.
Duck.
Hi.
Duck, where's Caitlin?